Welcome back. This is Hope at Dawn right here at Hope TV. This is where you look and you live. My name is George Gishuru and we are straight to the day's newspapers and what's being reported. And the Daily Nation, that is where we are starting off. Listen to youth, church tells state. That is the headline on the Daily Nation this morning. Listen to youth, the church is now telling the state. Tax protest. The church leadership yesterday broke its silence on the ongoing mass protests against the Finance Bill 2024, calling on the government to urgently intervene and listen to the grievances raised by the youthful demonstrators who have expressed strong opposition to the controversial tax bill. Meanwhile, President William Ruto said he is proud of the young Kenyans and promised to address their issues. That is a story you can read on pages 4, 5, 6, and 7 inside the Daily Nation, and you can get to see what the church said yesterday, and of course the clarion call yesterday. So many Gen Zs also turning up in churches and making sure that their voice was heard as well in churches. Now, Ruto Gen Z near clash at church function. President, his deputy, and several politicians dramatically whisked away by their security detail. He promises to address youth's grievances over the controversial finance bill of 2024. The president saying, I'm proud of the youth and the decision they took to ensure their grievances are addressed. And so he says he's ready for talk. All right. I also see that is on page 6. You can read that. Tax wars, church breaks its silence, calls for dialogue, raising concerns that street protests could spark an uprising. The Catholic Church says Kenyans' grievances against the bill are valid. And so you can read also what they said. The Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops Chairman, Archbishop Maurice Muhatia, yesterday warned police not to use excessive force against peaceful protesters. That is covered on page 4 and page 5. Then we go to page 7, why Treasury CS holds key to propose changes to the bill. Finance and National Planning Committee has scheduled a meeting with Professor Ndongo. The Cabinet Secretary's input is important because of the money bill implication on the country's budget. So 35, that is the number of proposed amendments on the bill that the committee had received by Friday last week. Read that on page number 7. I also see the front page of The Nation. 3 men who will lead Kenya's police mission in Haiti. It is now official that Deputy Inspector General of Police Noor Gabo and heads of operations Samuel Chebet and Jeffrey Otunge from the AP are the police chiefs who will lead the Kenyan troops in Haiti. The 3 senior police officers were notified of the decision by the Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome on Friday. Otunge is a Senior Assistant Inspector General of Police, while Chebet is a Commissioner of Police. Read that story on page 8. I also see Raila takes campaign for top AUC position to Francophone nations. So former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has set his sights on West African nations with a focus on the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the Francophone French-speaking countries as the state prepares to submit his candidacy for the African Union Commission chairmanship this week. Right. I also see Mudavadi aid seized over fraud. Swale state officials arrested after tip-off. The Director of Press in the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary of Foreign Affairs Salim Swale was arrested over allegations of fraud on Saturday. Mudavadi's office confirmed the arrest yesterday. Suspected fraudsters were found at Mudavadi's offices situated at Kenya Railways building with fake door nameplates, and so you can read that story and what's happening on page number 9 inside the Daily Nation. And of course, as we continue to see what's being reported, the county news, you have failed us, grain farmers tell state. The grain farmers from the North Rift region, the country's food basket, have hit out at the Kenya Kwanza administration for reneging on its pre-election pledge to revamp agriculture and transform it into a profitable investment. Devolved units face tough sanctions for unpaid bills. Senate committee wants Treasury to stop transferring cash to county governments. All right, that is in the county news section. We can get to see the pullout today, the DN2 pullout inside the Daily Nation. The junior sport, Dare to Dream Big. Eldrad Mboya is a gifted chess player who hopes to fly Kenya's flag high in global competitions in future. It's on DN2 page 2. And Teacher's Corner, Miss Mary Wanjiko teaches English at Chandera School in Molo. Recipes, easy way to cook sumptuous shrimps. Wow, all right. That you can read on page 6. And also there is in-depth analysis of set book texts and excerpts to boost your revision on pages 8 and 9 inside the DN2 pullout. All right, as we continue to peruse the papers this morning, the back page of the Nation, Kenya under-17 girls face baptism by fire. Junior starlets will play two-time champions North Korea, 2016 quarter-finalist England, and the 2018 runners-up Mexico in tough Group C of FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup. And this is all about the Kenya's junior starlets have been handed a very tough group in the 2024 FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup. They have been placed in a tough Group C, and the tournament will be from the 16th of October to the 3rd of November later in the year. All right. I also see wounded Italy clash with Croatia in Group B showdown of European Championship. With wounds to dress and points to prove, Italy and Croatia face each other, knowing their Euro 2024 survival is on the line in tonight's decisive Group B match from 10 p.m. Kenyan time. That is the back page. Inside the on page 31, Gor march to 21st title in style. Thousands of Kogalo fans throng Kenyatta Stadium as their team is handed record-extending trophy. Heartbreak for Muhoroni Youth as the team is relegated. And then FKF Premier League, 22-year-old striker Omala wins Golden Boot Award for 2023-24 season. And then hard work begins for Team Kenya athletes in charge of strategy. Athletes will train in Nairobi and at high altitude in Eldoret. This is all about the 2024 Olympics. Kenya keen to preserve status as top athletics nation. And that is the Daily Nation. Getting to the Standard this morning, and they go with the headline, "The revolt continues." That is the headline. As MPs gather to debate the finance bill tomorrow, Kenyans have reiterated their stand that they object punitive tax measures. Yesterday, they made their point in churches and other worship places. President William Ruto has promised to listen to the issues, but he too was heckled in Nyahururu as he attended a church service. And so what Gen Z parents feel about the protest and issues, policing the police, how youth are fixing rogue officers, revelers chant anti-government slogans, church calls on government to listen to the cries of Kenyans, and president says he admires their courage, willing to listen to them, right? But as they are saying this, the questions also being raised about the abduction of people seemingly who are vocal about what's going on, and they continue to be abducted, and this is uncalled for, especially in the season that we are in, 2024. But then again, you are saying this and doing the other thing. Let us be law-abiding citizens. Everyone, no one is above the law and no one is below the law. All of us should be captured by this law, right? Tea candidates splash millions. Tea election campaigns for directorship positions have entered the home stretch, and candidates are crisscrossing the 54 KTDA factories across the country and splashing millions of shillings. Read that on page number 11. After Shakahola, religious groups report gathers dust. It's a story on page 10. Clinical trials show hope for HIV vaccine. It's on the health and science pullout on page 3. Trump woos evangelicals in vote hunt. That is the world news. Let us peruse inside the Standard. Widows call for their lands and property rights to be respected. Then I see schools break for midterm amid youth protests, financial constraints. EACC to charge Mombasa County officials over 1.6 billion garbage collection deals. And policing the police. Gen Z apply effective methods fixing rogue elements. Techies have established leads revealing the possible identity of the officer captured firing directly at an armed anti-finance bill protesters. They were able to track the officer involved, identifying his family and his residence. That is how the Gen Zs are fixing matters to do with rogue officers. Gen Z parents back demos tell Kenya Kwanza to listen to please. All right. I also see Ruto forced to eat humble pie as Gen Z protests escalate countrywide, and church urge state to listen to youth reconsider finance bill. That is churches from the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops to the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya to the Anglican Church of Kenya. Archbishop Ole Sapit saying the Gen Z are not enemies of the country and should be listened to. Elsewhere, Presbyterian Church of East Africa moderator Rev. Theku Mutahi saying the government must understand the situation the country finds itself in, with people lacking resources and many young people out of gainful employment. And that is the message from the church. Ruto must go chants reverberate in nightclubs. Politicians were barred from church podiums yesterday. Nationwide protests expected tomorrow. Then street protests expose Ruto's blunder on budget making. Our leadership would be well advised to avoid dismissing these protest actions as a one-off. The real concern is we have made what should be a smooth budget process a scene of chaos. Read that on page number 6. On page 10, that story, Musimi Task Force report gathers dust in State House filing cabinets. He said his team completed the report on religious groups at the end of February. The task force was appointed on May 4th, 2023, following the Shakahola massacre. Right, read that on page number 10. Looking at the health and science pullout, 10 ways imbalances affect your health. You can read that on pages 4 and page 5. The county news, nurse on a mission to end sickle cell disease in Western Nyanza regions. One of the key challenges patients face is the lack of access to proper screening and diagnosis. A bone marrow transplant is a sure way to treat the disease, though it is very expensive. All right, now we continue with the sports pages. No love lost as Croatia face Italy in survival clash. And then inside we have they came, they saw, but vanished. Where are they? Some athletes have not been in the limelight after suffering career-ending injuries and illnesses. Chespol and Florence Kiplagat are among athletes who have not been competing in top races recently. You can read where they are and what they are doing. And of course, record 21st league champions Gor Mahia. They are this year's FKF Premier League champions, a record time 21 times. Right, that is in the Standard. And finally, just the front page of the Business Daily. Parliament wades into secret public debt boss hiring saga. Treasury given 60 days to replace Sirima in key office. PS Kipto says we have a candidate, but PSC guarded. All right. I also see kerosene use dips 39% on record high prices. Kerosene consumption fell 39.45% to 69.53 million liters last year, the sharpest drop among all the three categories of petrol products. Australia, Canada, UAE top Kenya dollar inflows growth. Banks to get up to 3 years to meet 10 billion shillings capital threshold. That is on the Business Daily. And yes, that is what's being reported in the dailies this morning. Grab your favorite copy and get to see what's happening in our nation, whatever is happening, not just in your town, in your locality, what's happening in other regions, in other counties, in other towns as well. People, we continue to say, this is the only nation we have. Hatuna substitute, hatuna replacement. So tumesema si kuna governor huwa anasema, so hatusemi tu for the county, lazima iwork. Kenya lazima itawak. Ama vipi? So let's pray also as believers. Let us pray for our nation, the leadership, and the people as well. Right about now, we take a short musical break. It's all about the video of the day, and then we will be coming back.